Hey guys, it's Paul and welcome back. Alright, so I was doing a little bit of talking back and forth with another YouTube user. Kind Octavia, I believe is his name. Anyhow, talking about upgrading the Blast or the L959 buggy to all Traxxs stuff for radio receiver. Servo is going to have to be changed. The stock servo is a 5-wire, so this is not going to work with 2.4 gigahertz Traxxs stuff, or even 27 megahertz Traxxs stuff, or anything modernized in the world of regular hobby grade parts. Okay, these machines are an entry-level hobby grade machine. They're not a full-out hobby machine. So things are built a little bit differently. You have a combo ESC receiver board in these machines, okay? And of course you have a little bit different type of servo setup here with the 5-wire system. And so you can't plug this servo directly into a regular receiver. And of course you can't use this unit to control the vehicle if you're using different ESC, or straight ESC only. So you need ESC, you need a receiver, and you're going to need a new servo. So anyways, I was talking to him, I said, well, maybe the micro servo would fit in there and you might have to do some mods. So I don't have a micro Traxxs receiver. I do have an older servo. But I do have an older Traxxs servo that is a standard size servo, and it's a little different because it not only has your front mounts here, but it also has these bottom side mounts. Now, to use this servo in here, you have some little light modifications that are going to have to be done. You're going to need a servo period that has some side mounts, okay? Or you're going to have to make a bracket to clamp it down like super tight and super straight. But this particular servo has the sides. So what we're going to have to do is clip this off on either side for the regular standard mount setup and leave these ones here on the servo. And you're going to have to drill a hole straight through on either side. Center this servo as best as you can and also get it lined up dead even. Now you'll be able to take your servo arm and saver off of your stock servo and actually put it right onto your replacement servo. It should go right in there, no problem, and so you won't have to modify any of the steering link at all, but you're going to have to get things centered up as best as you can. Clip these off, bolt the servo down in place first, make sure it's just as dead straight as you can get it, you know. And from where I'm looking, you're going to be pretty tight fit down in here, but for distancing and whatnot, but you should be okay. You know, it should fit really well. So if you're thinking about doing this sort of modification to your Litehawk Blast buggy, or even your Brute or your L959, L969, and so on, then this is something that can be done, you know, and you can make it a more up-to-date hobby type machine. Now, for those of you who may not have seen my last video, I've been working on my own L959. That's my Blast that actually decided it wanted to die tonight. So I contacted Litehawk about it to see if they'll replace my receiver, as well as my differential, because it's got a bad diff in it. But anyway, so here's my L959 that I've been working on modifying slowly. Okay, now I've modified different tires on it. I still kept the original rims, and I just put an oil-filled suspension on. Now when I first put this suspension on, I just took it right off the vehicle I had it from. Things seem to be okay moving around, you know, but they are pretty strong springs. Turned out, checked it out after my test run, and things just didn't seem right. So I took them all apart, found out I had a jammed up shock, one of them anyways, and one shock, actually it was this one, actually had clean oil in it. Very surprising. The other two had next to nothing, and it was really disgusting. So I cleaned them all up, got them all working perfect, and actually, since everything's working fine, it's softened up more, and so that's actually a good sign. So you know, it actually does pay to check things over, but I didn't, you know, feel like, you know, just ripping everything apart at once and saying, okay, is this all okay? And, you know, it felt okay, but then, you know, after that run, it's like, something's not right. And, but now everything's like smooth as glass, and, you know, it's, you know, loosened up, so it's more springy. So I'm really appreciating that too. So we're gonna, of course, do another test run now that we got a beautiful working suspension. You know, but you can put higher end hobby parts on these. Okay, these are anodized full aluminum bodied shocks from an actual drifter car, you know, not from a buggy or, you know, truggy. But, you know, and so that's one change I've done. I've also done my tires, like I said, and I foam filled the tires, so these things actually work awesome. So I think I like his idea where he's wanting to upgrade the electronics. The only difficult part that is going to be the second challenge, I mean, the servo's not so big of a deal. We got that figured out. I might actually try this myself, because I got, well, as long as the ESC I have will run this motor, then I've actually got all the parts I need. Anyways, I like the idea of upgrading it to full grade, hobby grade parts, especially on the performance edge of things too, is actually a bonus. I would probably go brushless motor with a brushless ESC instead of going brushed, but I have a brushed ESC here that may work with it with the stock motor, but I would definitely probably go, in the end, I would go brushless motor. You know, your brushless ESC, something like maybe out of an E-Revo, you know, that particular type of class, because it's the size, right? You need the size. Even the, I don't know what the motor size is in the E-Revo, I'd have to check. Like, we're talking the mini one, not the bigger one. But if you can get these parts to work together, there is room under the hood to fit all of it. You know, I mean, receivers, if you get a small enough receiver, you know, you can stick your receiver right at the back here, then stick your ESC in here, you know, and then of course you're still running a stock 7.4 volt lithium ion or LiPo battery, so you want to make sure that your ESC you get works with that battery, because you're not going to fit a 3-cell into this thing. It's just not going to go. But putting in the 2-cell LiPo or sticking with lithium ion definitely will work. So miniature sized receiver, then your ESC, there's room there, then your servo, mounting your servo in. Now if you modify the servo properly to fit, without interfering with any of your post mounts here for your cover, here, and that there's no top interference at all, then you just bonused right out. Because the thing is whatever servo you use, you have to be able to reuse this cover. Excuse me, I was yawning there for a second. Because it holds your shock towers in place on the plate itself. There's no other mounting screws that go below it. So you have to have this plate back in there in order for your backs of your shock towers to actually mount there. And then of course you've got your front plate for extra strength as well. So you need to be able to do your mod so that everything sits down enough. You may even have to end up going to the Traxxs micro servo, which still may have enough power in it to run your steering properly. Okay, this one definitely. So that's what I'm trying to explain for as far as the servo goes. It's a great idea. I think it's awesome. I'm sure he's going to be able to pull it off. I may try this myself, like I said, and we'll see what happens. If it does work, then it's definitely going to be the next level upgrade. Because I'm not going to do it to this one, but I will do it when I do it, or if I do it, I'm going to do it to my blue one, because it's already got my oiled shocks, it's already got my better rear tires. I'm probably going to invest in some foam-filled tires that are like these nubbies here with the square treads. You know, nothing wrong with these tires at all, mind you. But then also go to a ball bearing kit as well. The wltoys L202, there's a bearing kit that'll work with this buggy. And that's a lot better than the oil pushed bearings, which can tend to wear and you know, they oblong shape themselves and stuff with time. You know, I mean, these tires here, they're still running pretty straight and true. My backs are still running good, and I've got my metal dog bones on this vehicle as well. You know, so little bits here and there turns it more and more hobby grade, because then where you're left at is all your main parts for this machine are totally available through Litehawk or wltoys. So then if you put in Traxxs equipment or whatever you put in, those parts will come from there. Red Cat Racing for your alloy shocks, you know, so bingo, you've got yourself a nice hobby grade machine that's now got a higher ranking to it than just entry level, you know. It's coming up there. It's just that you're going to have a mishmash of WL and this and that, and who cares, you know? It's nothing wrong with it, and you know, it's part of creating better and better stuff, and modding is what it's all about, right? So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and we'll catch you on the next video.